My request to do so was denied. Ooh, interesting, by Keith Carter, despite the team also asking him to allow me to keep coaching them so they could better maintain their high level of performance. Woo, calling them out. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great Sunday. Hope all of you having a great weekend. Hope all of you had a great Thanksgiving break. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, I gotta give you some context and perspective on the behind the scenes. The MBG sweatshop is in full force. It has been kicked into overdrive, and we've been working overtime. To say it's been a wild past 24 hours in my life would be severely understating it, and I'm not the type of guy to get up here and tell you how hard I'm working or anything, but I just want to give y'all some context because it's important to the channel. For starters, we was up late last night doing the reaction video and just talking about the Iron Bowl and whatnot. That didn't end till around 11, 12 a.m., and I didn't even get those videos uploaded until roughly 2 or 3 a.m. As soon as I got done with those videos, I was on the phone texting my sources back and forth, trying to figure out what was going to happen and what's going on with this Lane Kiffin situation. Next thing you know, it's 8 to 9 a.m. Gotta throw this out there. Major, and I mean major shout out to our very reliable sources on the channel, Pete Nakos and Brett McMurphy. If you've been watching the channel, you know who these guys are, and if you don't know who they are, go shoot them a follow on Twitter. They are the best at what they do. To make a long story short though, we posted a video at 5:30 a.m. this morning breaking the big time breaking news that Lane Kiffin was going to be going to LSU. There were so many reports flying around leading up to this weekend saying, oh yeah, Lane Kiffin, he's going to leave this day. I know where he's going to go. But notice, we didn't talk about it. Why? Because there wasn't any validity to it. And I'm not going to act like I don't understand why people are just throwing out these false reports and saying, oh, they know where Kiffin's going to go. Because they want clout, they want attention, they want views, they want clicks, and they're up and coming in the media industry. I get it. Now, do I agree with it? Absolutely not, because I pride myself on this channel having high integrity, high morals. And what do I say? I don't want to be the first to report on the news. I don't care about that. It would be great. I want to be the best to report on the news. So I hope some of you noticed, didn't even really report on Lane Kiffin going potentially to LSU until this morning. Reasoning for that is because I'm going to divert back to this. I have a select few sources I trust and believe, and until they give me the green light, I'm not saying a word about it. Want to start out the video by saying that. Now fast forward in time to give you an even better time frame. After we posted that video at 5:30 a.m., I was back on the phone trying to figure out all the details. I'm like, okay, well, what time exactly is this news going to break? Who's going to be the new head coach at Ole Miss? I mean, there's so many different variables to it. Fast forward time into around roughly 8 to 9 a.m., my body, I mean, I still haven't slept at this point. It just couldn't function anymore. I had to take a brief, and I mean a brief nap. I was only asleep for a couple hours. Woke up to the Auburn news. We just covered that. If you're interested in the Alex Golish stuff, him leaving USF, going to the Auburn Tigers, check out the recent video. And now, as when I'm speaking and making this video, it has been made officially official. Although, like I said, we broke the news several hours ago. Lane Kiffin, he's leaving. And he has released a public statement. I haven't seen it. You're going to get my live reaction to it. I don't know how y'all feel about it. Let me know in the comment section. But all in all, this is just a sad situation because I know Lane Kiffin, he can be polarizing. Some people love him. Some people don't like him. Ole Miss fans, you're going to say he's a snake. I get it, yada, 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 this, that, and the third. But Lane Kiffin, let me throw this out there. He did not want to leave Ole Miss in the midst of a playoff run. He wanted to finish out this season. But Ole Miss, from at least what I've heard, they left him with the ultimatum of, no. You can't accept the LSU job and still finish it out here. It don't work like that. You don't get the best of both worlds. You either got to go to LSU or you can stay here and coach the team in the playoff run. I guess I do understand Ole Miss's perspective because that is their leverage. It's the only leverage they have. Because they obviously want to keep Lane Kiffin, and the only incentive for Kiffin staying is this playoff run, a chance and opportunity to win a national championship. Also, too, another reason why this drug on so long, we talked about this earlier, is because you saw everybody talking about, oh, well, yesterday around 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. we were supposed to hear some news. I didn't understand those reports coming out because everybody I talked to, this was not even a question mark or not even up for discussion. Lane Kiffin wasn't going to come out with an announcement or a decision until after the Iron Bowl because y'all do understand Friday night after Texas A&M upset Texas, that now meant that if Alabama lost to Auburn, and there was a good possibility of that happening, Ole Miss would go to the SEC Championship, and that would change everything. So I'm really confused as to why ESPN was acting like Kiffin was going to make a decision yesterday, because like I just said, he wasn't going to make a decision until after the Iron Bowl. But here we go. Here's what the Kiffinator had to say. After a lot of prayer and time spent with family, I made the difficult decision to accept the head coaching position at LSU. I was hoping to complete a historic 6-season run with this year's team by leading Ole Miss through the playoffs, capitalizing on the team's incredible success and their commitment to finish strong and investing everything into a playoff run with guardrails in place to protect the program in any areas of concern. My request to do so was denied. Ooh, interesting, by Keith Carter, despite the team also asking him to allow me to keep coaching them so they could better maintain their high level of performance. Woo, calling them out, how about that? Unfortunately, that means Friday's Egg Bowl was my last game coaching the Rebels. Sad, man. Very sad. While I'm looking forward to a new start with a unique opportunity at LSU, I will forever cherish the incredible 6 years I spent at Ole Miss and will be rooting hard for the team to complete their mission and bring a championship to Oxford. Lane Kiffin. I'm saddened by all this. It's just a sad situation. I don't care what any of you say. Kiffin did not want to abandon this year's team. If you want to say he wanted to leave Ole Miss, I'm with you on that. He wanted to go to LSU. It's a better opportunity. It is. Long-term wise. You know, you're going to have more resources, more NIL money. At least on paper, it's a better opportunity. I'm not going to say it's going to work out better, but you get the point I'm trying to get across. But Kiffin, there's just no way he wanted to leave this year's team. He wanted to finish it out. And I'd like to see him finish it out. But as he stated right here, I'm glad he clarified, yeah, the AD told him, nope, you don't get to keep coaching this team if you take this job. And we got to know today. We need a decision. I'm not going to say he was put in the worst position in the world because, I mean, this is a great spot to be in life, choosing between Ole Miss, LSU, getting tens of millions of dollars a year. We're not even talking about 5 cents. No, we're talking about tens of millions of dollars per year. There's much worse problems you can have in life. But I'm not going to sit up here and act like this isn't a difficult decision. And I ask all of you, please, it's what I strive to do when I talk about situations like this. I try to put myself in that person's shoes. Think about you being Lane Kiffin for just a second. Try to put yourself in Kiffin's shoes. At LSU, you'd be getting more money. It's going to be way easier to recruit. Speaking of recruiting, they're going to be giving him $25 million per year in NIL money to spend on recruiting. I don't care what any of you say. That's a big selling point. In the modern era of college football, if you want to compete for a national championship, you got to have NIL money. You have got to. If not, you're going to get left behind. To me, this was Lane Kiffin looking at the next, not just a couple of years, but the next 10, the next 15 years. Because Ole Miss, sure, they would have competed for a championship this year. However, the next few years, probably not so much. You don't have the money to spend like an LSU, like an Ohio State, like a Texas Tech. Teams like that. I don't want to sit up here and say this was a fluky season or a one-off season for Ole Miss, but I think Lane Kiffin, he gets it. At LSU, you can routinely, consistently, year in and year out, compete for a national championship. At Ole Miss, you can't do that. And if some of you disagree with it, I just don't understand how you can, because if Lane Kiffin thought he could compete for a championship every single year at Ole Miss, he would stay at Ole Miss. That's where people are having a problem with this. You can't just look at this year's team and what he's leaving behind this year. You got to look at the next 5 to 10 years. Lane Kiffin's looking at the bigger picture. And if you got to ask me, what is a better job? I mean, it's not even close. It is LSU. You're going to have more and better everything. Better resources, more money. It's going to be easier to recruit. The list goes on and on and on and on. Let me clarify, because don't twist my words. I'm not saying this is the right move by Lane Kiffin. I'm not saying this is a great move. I don't think there was a right or wrong decision, whether he would have stayed at Ole Miss or left to go to LSU. What I'm doing right now is I am telling you why I, Matt B. Great, understand why he left Ole Miss. That's all I'm saying. Will this work out at LSU? Don't know, because, well, he hasn't coached a single game yet. But I think a good rebuttal to that would be this right here. Why wouldn't it work out? If you can win at Ole Miss, you can most certainly win at LSU. The only thing I've stated whenever we've talked about this Lane Kiffin situation, leading up until this day, the past couple of weeks and whatnot, is I didn't think he needed to leave Ole Miss. Because we see it with Kurt Cinetti at Indiana. You're seeing it with Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. Two great examples. In the big 2025, and moving forward in 2026, 2027, and so on, you can compete for championships. Or you can compete for, by the way, not championships. Let me go back on that. My apologies. You can compete for a playoff spot. You can build your own, what have I said, empire at an Indiana, at a Vanderbilt, at an Ole Miss with the transfer portal and NIL. It is doable. Whereas 10 years ago, if you wanted to build an empire, you had to take the LSU job. You had to leave Indiana to go, oh, I don't know, to Texas. You had to leave to go elsewhere. But now it's just way different, and it's good for the sport. More parity. Up until last week, I'm on the record stating time after time after time, I don't think Lane Kiffin's leaving Ole Miss. Why would you? Like we just discussed, you can build your own empire there. It can't get much better at LSU. You made the playoff. It doesn't get any better than that. However, last week, the 90 million report came out. That changed everything for me. Changed my perspective and opinion. 90 million is just absurd, man. It is absurd to say the least. To go on top of that, another game changer is this right here. The $25 million per year. Guys, that's not the next 3 to 4 years combined. No, per year in NIL. That's the big part of all of this. Lane Kiffin's not really concerned about making, I'd say, an extra $1 million, $2 million per year, although that's great and whatnot. I'm sure that played into it, not even just a little bit, but I don't even say a lot of bit, a mediocre amount, if that makes sense. But the big difference in all this is the $25 million for his roster. He's trying to win multiple championships. I'm not going to say he couldn't do that at Ole Miss, but here's what I am going to say, and I think we can all agree on this. With $25 million per year spent on your roster, it's going to be a little bit easier to do at LSU. There's so much more to this we're going to unpack probably tonight in the upcoming days, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel, got your notifications on and whatnot. I can guarantee you this. We're going to be talking about this at least 2 times a day until the next, I don't know, and until the game's on Saturday, probably. It's one of the biggest topics in college football, at least when it comes to coaching, since I'd say Nick Saban retired. I'd say it's almost bigger in the aspect of drama because there's just way more to this. When Nick Saban retired, there's not any drama. There's nobody mad. It's like, oh, yeah, well, he's getting kind of old, and it was relatively a smooth process. Alabama got a new head coach within, 7 or 8 days, and that being Kalen DeBoer. But with this, there's so many moving parts. What's Ole Miss going to do from this point on? I haven't even got into that. What are the players going to do? You got signing day coming up. It is a hot mess, which is great for you guys, and it's great for the channel. It gives us content to make, and it gives you content to watch. Let me know your thoughts down below. But